Wow, I failed. That sounded like coming out of an asylum, right? Now, before you guys catch hold of me and put me in one, let me make you fall in love with failure. Like you wanting to fail in your life. You wanting to fail. Imagine what would be possible for you if failure never stops you in your life. What could be possible for you? You want to take this journey with me today? So normally, currently, where does failure leave you? It leaves you with disgust with yourself, disgust with the situation, disgust with the person you want to blame it for, disappointment, you want him to run away, you want him to disappear, depression, anger. And how do we normally respond to failure? So you want to run away from the situation. You want to disappear. You just don't want to do it again. And sometimes we say to ourselves, this is not my cup of tea. By the way, I was not even interested in this in the first place. Or the other way around. A lot of us get resolute about it. We said, nahin, ab to we will do it. I will do it now and I will prove it to the world. But you know, both ways, what happens? There's a lot of energy required. It drains you out, right? So let's take this journey from these feeling of depression and resolute to feeling failure is wow. Wow, I want to fail. You ready? The best way to take this journey would be to pick up a real failure for yourself. Like pick up an area of your life where you feel you're not doing well enough. Pick up an area of your life where you think you're struggling. Pick up an area of your life where you're failing miserably. Let me share a small story about myself with you. About 7 years back, when I started Parwarish, an engineer, a master's in finance, with about 18 years of experience in corporate life, in manufacturing, venture capital funding, banking, insurance. I went to schools and I went to principals and people who owned schools and I said, I need an audience with the parents. You know, whatever difficulties you're facing getting parents and teachers together, I'll get it done. You know, whatever issues parents are having with their children, there is a solution out there. You know what happened? You know what did they say to me? Each one of them. They said, Sushant, who are you? What's your experience? What's your qualification? What do you know about children? What do you know about parents? What do you know about education? You know what? People in your age facing midlife crisis, wanting to do something different, wanting to make a change in this world, they suddenly get up and they say, let's dabble around with education. That's the easiest place to go. Let's experiment with children. So you know, Sushant, dime a dozen. We get too many people like you every day. All the best. So I used to come back home, dejected, disgusted with the system first, then looking at myself and saying, Sushant, is it worth it? You're staking everything, it's putting everything on stake. Your career, your family, your children. Is it worth it? Will this happen? And when I used to come back home, I used to hear people say, Sushant, kab tak yaar? Till when are you going to do this? So that's where, so I'm sure, have you all picked up one area of your life where you're experiencing failure at whatever level? Be it struggle, be it not doing well enough or miserable, right? One area. So let's begin this journey from the time, we go back a bit, okay? We go back to the time when you were about a year old. And imagine that you were like this small dot. So what happened? When you took your first step, you fell, right? And then you said to yourself, I'm not going to walk again in my life. And your parents shouted at you saying, idiot, don't dare do this again. It's hurting you. No, nothing like that happened, right? They actually started celebrating, right? They brought out their cameras, they shot your first fall, and they started calling up everybody. You know what? He fell. He tried first time. And then you were sitting on that floor, hurt, physically hurt, and then you saw your parents celebrating. And then you say, oh, I must have done something good. And then you get up and you fall again. And fall again. And then you get up again and you fall again. And you get up again and you fall again. Till the time walking became natural. You don't even think about it now. So what happened when you first tried to write? You know, we didn't have pencil grip, right? It was this hammer grip. And we would write anywhere we would want to. Like, you'll find some walls, your floor, you'll find scratches of paper. We even spoiled our elder brothers or sisters' books, right? We kept at it. Sometimes our teachers, our parents, holding our hands just to keep that pencil in control. But we never gave it up. We kept at it, till the time writing became as natural as walking. And you know what? It took a few years before we could actually control it. Ouch! That one hurt. And that one hurt bad. And I know for a bit of us, some of us swore that day, I will not ride a bicycle again in my life. And for those people, bicycling is still outside of them. Most of us who got up and you said, nahin, this is not going to stop me. You got up again. And you tried. And you tried. And you went again and again. Till the time bicycling became inside. If I give you a bicycle right now, people who really know it wouldn't have biked for more than decades, but can bike it right now. So over all these years, falling and getting up again and falling and getting up again, what's happened to us? From that small dot in the middle to big circle now. What's happened to you? Yeah, you're growing. So, when after I used to go back home after those meetings, I went back to my own teacher. So after that whole disgusting, depressing feeling, I said the best place to go is to go to my own teacher. Go to my own guru. So I went to my own children. And his face was right in front of me. His knees bruised. 7 years of him looking up to me and saying, Papa, let's go bicycling. I said, wow, this kid fell yesterday. It's still hurting. And all he's looking for is, let's go do it again. And then I said to myself, I want to do this again. So what I did was, I jumped. I jumped outside my circle. And that jump felt good. I said, wow. I jumped outside my circle. I did something which is outside of me. And you know what? Every time we jump outside, what happens? We fall. Let me say two things, okay? Two things I assure you. One, we all want to grow, right? Don't we? And the circle can grow only when you jump outside and you keep jumping outside and you make a bigger circle. So that day, that whole depression of and disgust of that meeting converted into, wow man, I'm courageous. I'm doing something which is outside of me. I've never ever done that before. An institute for parenting? Nobody's heard of it. And I'm doing it for the first time. Wow. I suddenly felt proud of myself. And I said, let me feel that pride again. And again. And again. And again. And you know what? This is addictive. This is very, very addictive. We got hooked onto it. So whenever we come to a place, we said, okay, wow, this is inside. What next? Let's jump. And every day, we jump outside. The only place we play our life in is outside. So, if you look at the circle of growth, right? This is what we call a circle of growth. We all want to grow, right? So whenever you fail, you say to yourself, I jumped outside. And then you experience the jump. And then when you experience the jump, you feel proud of yourself. You feel courageous. And then you identify what is outside of me. And then what do? What do you do? Jump again. And by the way, friends, what I'm talking about right now is not rocket science. That's the way it's always been. As children, every day of our life we played outside. You remember those days? Every day was a new day, every day was a new class, every day was a new subject, every day was a new learning, every day we were playing outside. We never played inside our circles when we were children. And how was the experience of life? You know, we experienced life there. We experienced exhilaration every day, looking forward to getting up in the morning and saying, wow, it's morning again. And somewhere down the line, we changed the meaning of jumping outside into failing. We failed at something, we jumped outside, we fell, and somebody said, you failed. And they laughed at us, they scoffed at us, and we said to ourselves, I am not going to fail again. And we kept playing inside our circles. Bound, and by the way, bored. The whole experience of life changed. Now what? Anybody who's experiencing failure, anybody who's experiencing failure in, say, a subject, you're not able to even solve a small problem, a mathematical problem, a science problem, you know what? You're playing outside. Somebody who's failing at a relationship, you know what? That relationship is outside of you. That business you're struggling with, it's outside of you. You're saying to yourself, I'm not a good parent enough. You know what? It's outside. And all you're doing is playing outside the circle, the current circle. So let me tell you one more ultimate truth of life, okay? There is no final circle. There is no final circle. So, go jump. Wherever you stopped yourself today, go jump. And go fail. Go fail. Go fail. Thank you.